Okay, so this is 6.4, which is building a linear function. Okay, as I said, we're going to continue with the same unit. Okay, even though we did the first quiz, we will have a second quiz later about the same unit. And this is building a linear function. I know we were working with linear functions, then we moved into nonlinear functions, and now we are back with linear functions. Let me close one of the windows. Okay. So here, so a linear function, as you know, has this form. Okay, f of x equals m times x plus b. We can also see it like this: y equals m times x plus b. Okay, as you know, these two things are the same thing. This is expressed with function notation, function of x equals blah blah blah. And this is sorry, and this is expressed as an equation on two variables. Okay, but it's essentially the same thing. Okay, so what does that mean? What do those two letters stand for? This m is what we call the slope. Well, let me use an example here. F of x equals 3x plus 1, for instance. Okay. This m is what we call the slope, okay, pendiente in Spanish. And that determines how steep my straight line is, okay? It can be very steep, it can be flat, it can be going down, okay? It can have different orientation. So the slope determines how steep it is, okay, and its orientation, okay? And B is what we call the y-intercept. B is what we call the y-intercept. Okay, what does that mean? Y-intercept means that it's the point x, f of x, or y. The y-intercept is the point where the function crosses the y-axis. Okay, so for this specific example, if the y-intercept is 1, it means that the function crosses the axis at the point 0, 1. Okay, so the y-intercept, this b, this number, is the y-coordinate of this point. Okay, as it's the y-intercept, as it's a point where I'm crossing, the function is crossing the axis, the x-coordinate is always going to be 0. But this y-coordinate is given by this number. Okay? And what does the slope mean? The slope, as I said, determines how steep this is. If I have a 3 here, I will explain why. But this means that the function move, I have to move 1 step to the right and 3 steps up. If I do that, I will have the next point. 1 to the right, 3 up. Next point. 1 to the right, 3 up. Same thing backwards. 1 to the left, 3 down. Okay? And that gives me, okay, my straight line. This line is f of x equals 3x plus 1 or y equals 3x plus 1. Okay? And now, how do I know that I can go 1 step to the right and 3 steps up? Okay? Why do I know that? Okay, I know that because The slope is defined by the following formula. The slope equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay. And what does that mean? It means that on a straight line, on a linear function, if I take any pair of points, I will take any 2 points in the line, any, and I will define, okay, this point this is going to be point 1, okay? And then I'm going to take this one, which is going to be point 2. And point 2 is 1, 4, okay? Always point 1 is on the left and point 2 is on the right, okay? That's important, okay? But I can take any pair of points and I can make the following calculation. Y2 is the y coordinate for this point. This is x2, y2. And here I have x1, y1. Okay? So what I do here is I make y2, which is 4, minus y1, which is 1, and then I make x2, which is 1, minus x1, which is 0. Okay, once again. Y2 and x2 are the coordinates for the second point, the one on the right. Y1 and x1 are the coordinates for the first point, the one on the left. So in order to find the slope, what I do is y2 minus y1, 4 minus 1, and x2 minus x1, 1 minus 0. And I divide them. And this gives me 4 minus 1 is 3, 1 minus 0 is 1. Okay? Of course, 3 divided by 1 is 3. Okay? But if I leave it as a, of course, this is 3, and that's why you see a 3 here. But if you see that as a quotient, as a fraction, you can see what I said, that in order to find the next point, I have to move 1 unit to the right, which is 1 unit on the x-axis, and 3 units on the y-axis. Okay. So I'm going to stop recording here.